to X the tax. And while I thought I was going to have Carla Wagner, there's Carla, she's here, but we're going to have Frank Czech speak in Carla's place, and that's fine. So come on up, Frank. Axe the Tax is a petition initiative to tell us about how to rid Michigan of property taxes. So it's a very interesting idea. I think you're all going to enjoy their presentation very much. So come on up, Frank.
No.
Okay. Okay, good.
I'm like the opening act. Okay, I don't have any good jokes though, like Marion does. Yeah, first and foremost, I mean, it's great to see all the folks out here this evening. We are, Axe My Tax is a nonprofit organization that is organizing a ballot initiative for the 2024 season, and it's going to take us a little time. We are in the education phase at the moment, and we're out there going to events and speaking engagements and that to get the word out there, because so many people can't even imagine a world without property tax. It's I mean, such a foreign concept. You know, we get so comfortable with it, we think, oh gosh, doesn't property tax, that pays for our township services, and it pays for our schools, and you know, pays for, you know, our state this and that. And when you look at it, I mean, schools, for example, you know, we've all become so ingrained that that's, you know, property taxes go for our schools. But back since Prop A, back in the 90s, the 1990s, which we're all in the same general age group, so hey, we all remember the 90s well, that went to the state level, and most of the school funding comes from sales tax and income tax, and just a fraction, you know, comes from property tax. You know, we're looking at the numbers here and looking at the state budget and saying, holy moly, these guys, you know, as much as you give to the government, or let me phrase that, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was going to correct myself. As much as they take from us, is in taxes and other fees and whatever have you, they spend, and then they take more, and then they spend to that amount, and then guess what? Oh gosh, all our departments spend all their money, so now we need to take more. They have these every year. They keep having these increases, and so we're all being put in the poorhouse, for goodness sakes. And you know, the tragedy of it is we watch, you know, seniors as an example, thousands and thousands and thousands, and thousands of seniors lose their homes. They own their homes, but their homes are taken by the government and auctioned off year after year after year. If you, a little bit later this evening in that, have a chance to come back to the table, we'll show you some of the statistics, but holy moly, you've got, you know, well over 100,000, on average 184,000 homes that are put into forfeiture year after year after year. That's the government saying, yeah, you might own your home completely. You might have the deed on it. You paid it off. You raised your family there. Your kids are off to school. Now you've got grandkids, and it's your hub. It's the heart of the family, and you still have maybe $800 a month, $900 a month, $1,100, whatever the amount might be. You don't have much of a say in it, but if you can't afford that rent to the state of Michigan, they come in and say, gosh golly, you know, very nice home you have there, it's ours now. So it goes into forfeiture, and then it gets auctioned off. I mean, did anyone truly realize that the numbers are that staggering, that the numbers are that ridiculous, that they take that many thousands of people's, Michigan, this is not a national statistic, this is Michigan, that there's that many people that take that many homes from people who own their home, and then sell it off, and then they have to go live with their kids or buy a condo or whatever. It's wrong. So there's a justice aspect to what we're doing. I mean, we're very, very passionate about from a justice standpoint alone. But I mean, even beyond the justice, could you imagine if you didn't have property tax in the state of Michigan? What if a farmer didn't have to pay property tax? What would happen to the price of food? It might go down a little bit. You know, if a daycare didn't have that, you know, $50,000 property tax bill on that building, could they maybe hire another person? Could they maybe pay their staff a little bit more? Could they give a little bit of a break to the folks that need that service. Pick your business, pick your industry. Businesses, if you happen to own a tool and die shop, if you own something where you're producing something in Michigan, would you be more competitive? Would your business be more competitive if you didn't have $50, $100, $200,000 in property tax? One Meyer building alone might have $250,000 or $300,000 in property tax a year. Maybe they could hire more cashiers if they didn't have that. we could all, again, the benefits are just enormous. We could see an economic boom like we have never seen in this state and through this initiative. And the first thing that might come to our minds is, gosh golly, what do we do? How do we cover the revenue in that we'd be losing? The state budget has gone up, 12 billion, 16 billion, 10 billion year after year after year. It's over $93 billion right now. It's ridiculous. If we reset the budget just to the 2020 levels, if we said, you know what, let's go to pre-COVID. I think we're past the pandemic. Everyone kind of think we're past the pandemic? We're feeling pretty good about it? Mm-hmm. No masks. All right, we're good. Must be past it. If we reset the budget to the pre-pandemic numbers just 2.5 years ago, there's no need for property tax. They spend more. That budget is $30 billion higher right now than it was just 2.5 years ago. So with those types of numbers, we have a great 4-step plan, and that plan is simply, first and foremost, through a ballot initiative, take it right to the people. Do you want your money back? Do you want your $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 a year after year back? If so, sign here. It's a financial initiative that covers everybody, whether you're a Democrat, Republican. Obviously, it's a conservative movement because it's a small government. But step one is take it to the people, eliminate property tax. Step two is we're to help offset some of the expenses is increase the revenue share from the state from the state to the localities. Step 2 and 3 kind of go hand in glove, which is empower the local governments. Take some of that money out of Lansing. The budget is just out of control. Whatever we spend, they will spend it and it'll go up next year. So let's take some of that money out of Lansing and give it to the localities and empower the localities so you can go to your neighbor's house who happens to be on the board and say, Bob, what'd you vote on that for? Serious? Come on. You can have a conversation with your local government. You can't have a conversation, seriously, has anyone tried to talk to your state senators? It's just not going to happen. You might catch a staffer, but so we want to empower local government, and we want to empower the local individuals, and we want to take some of that money away from Lansing, not to the detriment of any service. Schools fully funded. They get $10,000 roughly per student. This doesn't touch that. We have a lot of great recommendations. We have a lot of great talking points, on some of these particulars. We'd love to talk to you a little bit more about them. But as you can see, we're very, very passionate about it. There's a lot. I don't know. I don't want to take away from the headline show here, but pretty much we more than anything, many of you have already received some of these flyers and that. Definitely, we are trying to spread the word. This is real. This is happening. We will be on the ballot, but we need your help. We need volunteers. They only give us a 6-month rolling window for signatures. That means we need a lot of people out there with clipboards. We're not in the clipboard phase yet, but we're gearing up for it. So, on the back here, it's got our website and it's got contact information. Again, if folks want to get involved, we would love your help. Donations, obviously, every organization, paper costs money, volunteers, we have to print all those ballots up. We need around 450 actual signatures. We're shooting for 700,000 signatures. So again, that's a lot of people, a lot of paper, a lot of clipboards, a lot of pens. So again, if folks are looking at their tax bill and saying, hey, I'm going to save $5,000 a year if these guys pull this thing off, I'm in. Then please feel free to go to the website, help out however you can. And again, most importantly, those two are important. Yes, volunteering is important. Yes, donating is vitally important. But, because again, without your help, it's not going to happen. With your help, it will happen. But most importantly is spreading the word. Share and spread the word. We need to educate people in this phase that we're in right now before we get to the signature phase. So when we get to the signature phase, it's an easier explanation, because, oh yeah, I heard about you guys. Oh, I saw your billboard, or I saw your ad, or I saw your promotional trifold or that. So that's what we're asking. Again, we have a wonderful initiative. Again, eliminating property tax in the state of Michigan to create an economic boom, to let people of all ages, but seniors are hit the hardest, unfortunately, but people of all ages to stay in their homes and not have it seized by the government. This ballot initiative would eliminate that day one, and again, whatever support you can offer, and most importantly, spread the word through the website and handing out great materials like this. And I do sincerely appreciate the time to. If that's okay, that would be phenomenal. Okay, yeah, like I said, I'm trying to scoot along because I don't want to respect everyone's time.
Questions, Frank?
Yeah, that's what she was just saying.
Okay.
How many states have no income tax? Or
No,
property tax?
Yeah, so for property tax, the 66 answer here. So we did a study of state income tax, sales tax, and property tax. What was going to be the most impactful? We looked at what other states were doing. States like Florida and Tennessee and that don't have income tax, that's great. But the most impactful, hands down, was property tax. Many seniors, for example, don't pay property or don't pay income tax, but their homes are still getting seized, so that wasn't solving their problem. So of those, property tax, eliminating property tax is hands down the most impactful thing that we can do. No other state has absolute zero property tax. There are states that started protecting their citizens from seizure, because the state coming in and saying, yes, you're paying 22 mils or 40 mils, the millage, and you can't afford it now. Well, sorry, we're gonna come in and take your home and auction it off. Some states, and very few, like Texas, for example, implemented some protections so that they can't seize a home. Most states actually have significantly less property tax than us. Michigan, we're not, living a stellar life up here. It's a great state. We all love it. It's home, but the government is just really messing things up left and right, and our taxation is one of those areas. So there's many states that have significantly less property tax than us. One of the great examples is Hawaii. Hawaii, their property tax rate is like 0.13%. I mean, it's phenomenally low. But yeah, the short answer to your question is no other state has eliminated property tax. A few have eliminated sale or income tax.
Right, because I had heard that, so everybody goes to Texas for the no income tax, but I heard they get killed on property tax.
Yeah, oh yeah. Florida's kind of the same thing. Could you imagine, again, what the economic boom in this state, is going to be phenomenal. Yes?
I got, my question is, property tax, we're going to eliminate for the homeowner. What about businesses? Are they going to be eliminated as well?
Yes, so this is for...
A place for Michigan to attract businesses.
Exactly, the state already does this. They give away $700 million, $1 billion, $200 million, constantly giving away our taxpayer dollars to these corporations, oftentimes foreign corporations, foreign companies. So they're giving away our dollars to these entities to lure them into the state to compete against Michigan companies. So they'll bring in a battery factory. Well, we've got 6 battery factory companies, and why is this guy getting $1 billion? Wait a second, I don't understand. That's the lunacy of it. So the state recognizes the benefit of what we are doing. How funny is that? The state's already doing it. We just want to say, let's give it to everybody. One, they don't need our money. Again, the budget has increased in the last 2 years alone more than all property tax on state, local, and county and every level combined just in the last 2 years. They don't need the money. That aside, to answer your question, again, the state does do this. They do it to lure companies into Michigan. Could you imagine if no Michigan business ever had to pay property tax, no Michigan homeowner had to pay property tax, no renter, the landlords have to pay non-homestead property tax. Holy moly, what's going to happen to rent if they don't have to pay that extra, $500 or $800 a month? Could maybe rent come down? Instead of building, all this affordable housing off of our taxpayer dollars, maybe we can just make housing more affordable. Sounds like a good, logical plan to me. So it's not the government's way. Theirs is to keep growing their beast, and then to use taxpayer dollars to keep implementing more programs, or just trying to cut out the middleman. But yeah, the state's already behind what we're doing in a weird roundabout way.
Follow-up question?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, how many billions does the state collect in property tax to the state?
So about $2.5 billion is what what we're going to have to replace on the state level.
Okay.
So again, and we could go into some detail on our our 4-step program to replace that money. Part of the goal, the number 4 in our program, is an audit, because we do want to force an audit. I know that's not going to be popular in the government, but we want to force an audit because, again, they keep wasting our money, and it's just this beast is getting big, and the citizens have no clue. We have been diving into these budgets. The township budget, I can read a township budget. It's maybe half dozen pages. It's pretty straightforward and clear. As you move up the food chain, holy moly! The state budget is not only is it, yeah, it's big. That's one piece of it. But they have it convoluted and sectioned off. In this section doesn't match this section, but it references that section. It's insane. So having an audit to look at the numbers and dive into those numbers and provide some transparency and efficiency, and basically empower the people to stand up and say, hey, wait a second, I don't think this is a good idea. And to fight against certain line items or that. So yeah, this is definitely a very empower the people on the local level initiative. But yeah, what we're replacing on the state level is not significant. It's a rounding error in the world of a state budget. Yes, sir.
Most of the people that you would talk to think that their property taxes are funding the schools.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So how do you make up the shortfall?
Yeah, exactly. That's
How do you
most.
make up the shortfall?
Yeah.
What's
So.
the plan?
Yeah, so most people do believe that property taxes still fund most of the schools. 90%, or just about 90% of the funding is not property tax. Property tax only accounts for less than 12% of the entire school budget. So that money that we're trying to cover, our 2-step approach is, step 1 is using the lottery is one example. We were sold in 1978. We were sold the lottery. We were sold a bill of goods because, hey, that worked out great then, but over the years, it kept diminishing. It provides about half of what it used to for, as far as a percentage goes, to the schools. Schools are getting shafted by what was supposed to, when they moved, and this was long before Prop A. Prop A, used other means as well. But yeah, if we restore the lottery to what we were initially sold, the bill of goods that we were sold and said, yes, this is a good idea, fund the schools, that covers most of the shortfall. Like, we're still have about $1 billion beyond that to come up with, and that to take care of the additional $1 billion, we have recommendations that we're making as far as, for example, on sales tax. Not increasing sales tax, we would like to see sales tax lower, but removing some of the ridiculous carve-outs. Whenever they sign a bill, they come up with a bunch of carve-outs in sales tax, on guns. Hey, I love guns, I love gun safes, I love gun gear, but if I've got a black, trigger guard, or I've got a black handle, or a green vest instead of an orange vest, and I get a sales tax discount, did I really need a sales tax discount on that? So we're looking at getting around some of those particular goofball omissions. There's some that I'll not mention in mixed company and that, but there's some goofy stuff that they give discounts on property taxes, or excuse me, sales tax for, that we'd like to say, just get rid of that, and that fully funds the schools. It's our premise, though, that when you look at the school numbers, school enrollment is literally half. Excuse me, not half, sorry, 60%. It's 60% of what it was just 2 decades ago. It's shrunk that much, but the budget, we've got almost a $22 billion school budget. The budget goes up billions after billions after billions after billions. What's that money going for? Because it's sure not in performance. That's the other thing about property tax, just to make a note, is the cities with the worst schools, the cities who are economically depressed, where these people are struggling, have the highest millage rates in the state. Inkster, it's close by to all of us. some of the highest millage rates. You're over 70 mills in Inkster, you know? How insane is that? If you're in Huron, or Howell Township, 22 mills. So you have this, you know, $150,000 home in Howell, your taxes are a third or almost a quarter of what they are if you're in Inkster. Same house, same everything. But the schools in Inkster have to be phenomenal, right? Because all that extra money must go to the schools because it's property. No, the reading level, was it 5% reading and 18% math? Or vice versa, I don't remember which was which. That's how, these kids cannot read at grade level. I mean, many of them graduate and they can't read their own diploma. So, and I think it's just from a justice standpoint that you have, again, the economically depressed areas somehow, for some reason, are paying Detroit's what, almost 90 mils? I mean, it's lunacy. That's homestead. That's not non-homestead. If you own a business in Detroit, God help you. But it must be the schools, though. Again, Detroit schools, great. No, when Detroit was in a receivership, what happened? What did we discover? We discovered all the sweetheart real estate deals, didn't we? We discovered all the artwork, the $300,000 and $500,000 pieces of art, you know, that went to the buddy over here and the friend over there. So again, they waste money. They can't waste it fast enough. So.
Right.
Yes, sir. Oh, they're in the back.
Two questions, one
sir.
really brief, one word answer.
Yes.
You on the radio? You got a radio voice.
All right. Hey, if you could get me on the radio, that'd
No,
be great.
one word answer. One word.
I can't do that. That's impossible.
So, something serious.
Yes, sir.
Earlier in your presentation, you said this is a bipartisan situation.
Yeah, crosses all.
Okay, you might forget, we're at the Tea Party meeting here.
Yes.
You know, stop the spending, cut the taxes, stop the spending.
Yeah.
Tea Party. I really feel that maybe you guys should consider that this is really a Republican platform issue. We want to cut government spending, wasteful spending. We want to lower your taxes, put more money in your pocket. Along with this, I think you should consider it.
Yeah.
That it's really, you're going to get the most pushback in these big cities with these high millages,
Without
like
question.
you just pointed out.
Yeah.
And what are those cities? Those are Democratic cities.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to really think about the Marxists and communists and socialists in our midst. They're going to try to crush us.
Yeah.
And some Republicans, a lot of lifelong Republican people in service, you know, people that we elected that they're, you know, they want to get reelected and they have budgets and, you know, they get into this mix. They like the tax money too.
Yeah.
We have to train them that we don't like paying taxes as part of the Republican Party. But why don't you comment on that?
You know, we definitely have to. I mean, excellent point. So we do have to train them and remind them that they are Republicans. Oh, by the way, did you
Not
forget?
that part, but shouldn't this be part of the Republican platform?
Absolutely.
It's ours.
It's-
And they can come along, the Democrats can come along.
Absolutely.
But it's ours.
This is something that when you talk to a group of school teachers, for example, we did a focus group with school teachers, and every last one of them were, hey, this is great, and they saw the vision and that. But the union, every last one of them, 100% of them said the unions are going to fight you on this. Yeah, now, again, you have to scratch your head of why aren't they on our side? You know, why aren't they looking at this and saying this is going to help our people, etc. But you're right. You know, we are going to get the biggest pushback from the blue cities. We're going to get the biggest pushback from the areas and the governmental, the people on every level who are entrenched in that government money, who live, eat, breathe those government budgets. So those are that's the group that we're going to be fighting against, 100%. Now we are working with candidates in that who will be running for various offices in that with this as a lead. You know, I mean, if you're going to someone and saying, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you know, for goodness sakes, you know, you could lose your home. We're here to help you. Or, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you know, you have a small business in Michigan. We're here to help you, and here's how this is going to financially benefit you and your family. And here's how we're going to realize an economic boom in the state of Michigan. Should this be a platform, you know, for the Republican Party?
Yes.
Absolutely, unquestionably, hands down, because we are a small government. Get some of the money out of Lansing, return it to the local people. So yeah, I'm with Sam 1,000% on
Get
that.
Democrats to vote Republican off of this platform.
There you go. Sam, you should run for office, man. No, he's dead right, though. I mean, hands down, he's dead right. This is a platform. This is a Republican, conservative, small government platform. And it should be able to bring over some common sense Democrats as well, no question. I'll stop rambling so we can get on to the main event, but I appreciate everyone's time so sincerely. And thank you also when you have a chance, after the evening is wrapping up, please feel free to wander out to the back there, grab some additional materials, stacks of it for your friends and family, and please, please, please share.